Hey guys, what's up? Toast again from Fishyaker. We're back here at ICAST 2021 at the Thunderhawk booth. We're here with Chief Mike Dove. We're going to talk a little bit about Thunderhawk lures. So guys, again, Toast, welcome back to Fishyaker 2021 ICAST. We weren't able to be here last year. We're back again in Orlando at the Orange County Convention Center. Right here is kind of my law enforcement brethren, Chief Mike Dove from Indiana. He's here with Thunderhawk Lures. He's going to tell us a little about the lures, his background, and how we got to end up being sitting here in the convention hall with ICAST.
It's crazy.
Yeah, this is awesome. It's cool
awesome
to be back, isn't it?
Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up. This is great to see that things start to get back to normal a little bit and be a part of Thunderhawk. I'm excited for something new and old at the same time. It's pretty cool. We're here, Thunderhawk, a little background about Thunderhawk. We manufacture for several other companies for the last 15 years. Hawk himself, Hawk Hong, came to me and says, hey, you want to help me out a couple years ago? Let's get some new products out. What do you think? I'm a lifelong bass fisherman and grew up in Minnesota and tournament fish throughout the country. I live in Indiana now, and I just retired in 2017 from law enforcement. And I said, heck yeah, this is a heck of an opportunity, and let's do it the right way. We're not going to knock anybody off. Let's do things. We got our own painters. We got our own 3D printers. We got all the stuff. We got engineers, so open book. So that was pretty cool. We did that. And then come up with some really cool lures we're showing off here at ICAST. I'm really interested to see the feedback from people. I've already got a lot of people stop by, say this is pretty neat stuff. And we submitted a couple things for Best of Show. We'll talk about that later, but I'm just really excited to present really cool baits that catch fish more than fishermen. As you know, some of the things here are geared towards catching fish more than anything else. I'm pretty proud that we catch fish more than anything else, and appreciate you coming by. And it's going to be a long couple days, but it's already been great to see people, and again, get back to normal and talk about fishing rather than to talk about being hidden in a house somewhere.
Yeah, and one thing that really turned me on to it, now my buddy Steve Monahan, some of y'all have heard us talk about him on the podcast, on the shows with Fishyaker before. Old friend of mine, he's like, hey, check this guy out. He's retired law enforcement, just like I am, and he's got some really cool lures. He sent some of the square bills to me to check out. They're awesome. Perfect lures for the Susquehanna River. Reached out here, and Mike and I have been going back and forth. Now, this year at ICAST, there are about 30% less vendors we've had in the past, unfortunately. So really, there's a really good opportunity here because a lot of people want to get back out and get to the show this year that weren't able to get here last year, and there's not as many the smaller vendors, so I think it really gives you a good opportunity. So really, show us some of what your thoughts are with some of the lures, the design process. Definitely look at the square bills and the Sergeant. I know you got the Sergeant right up for Best of Show, and just show us what the process, the design process went through on them.
Some of this was Hawk had developed some lures already. For instance, our slash bait, a slash 110 and a slash 80. He designed this himself. I came up with some new colors, especially because I dealt with a show in Pennsylvania 2 years ago now. COVID's kind of got me screwed up in timeline.
Yeah, you were at the NRA show in Harrisburg.
NRA show, and I saw some stores that came up and really took notice to our jerk baits, and they said they fish for smallmouth in the water in Susquehanna. So we came up with some colors specific for your area up there. We got called a balm. It's similar to a clown. We have the pinks. We got golds and a lot of that stuff, but we really dialed in that jerk bait. It's pretty slick. We got the Sergeant, as you talked about, the lipless. I spent a lot of time working on this one. This is about the fifth variation, five times till I got it just right. And the biggest thing I want to show people about this, we submitted this for Best of Show, and we like to see something, hopefully win, not just for Thunderhawk, but for the fisherman that actually catches fish, not just a gimmick. What we did with the lipless, we created a 1/2 ounce and 3/4 ounce that's exactly the same dimensions. So that we thought was unique in and of itself. I fished the lipless since I was 10 years old, and I always like little things from one to another, so I tried to put everything I liked about every lipless I ever fished in one bait. Cut out the front so it really vibrates hard falling down. Again, the same dimensions from the 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, the 3/4 ounce rattles. But the biggest thing you'll see is when it sits, you'll see this on our website too, it sits on the bottom of the lake, nose down, tail up. It will not fold over on it. So if you can almost use it on a rock like a jig.
So like weight forward, almost like a Ned rig on it.
Yeah, and it just sits there on the bottom of the lake, and a little wiggle and moving up and down. But the biggest thing, the hardest thing I had to do, I really knew what I wanted to do with this, because a lot of times lures, lipless crankbaits are hard to land fish. You get a lot of missed strikes. Well, I engineered dual swivels in this. Both hook hangers have a swivel on it. So in the initial testing I did, I thought it would really work out good, and initially what we saw was a lot of the fish we're catching still had the front hook still in their mouth because they couldn't get leverage to spit it. So, and then doing all that, it was very hard. Every time you add something, you got to tweak it, make sure it vibrates just right, and it came out awesome. I'm very, very happy with it. I'm not just saying that. We did several test stores back in January throughout the country. Every one of them sold out within a week. So we've got a lot of orders for this already. We've only been open a couple hours. People are just gravitating towards that lipless. Another one I really like it is another one I created called the A10. You'll notice people in military background, A10 Warthog. It goes shallow and beats the crap out of everything it takes off. We even created the eyes to look the same as an A10 Warthog.
Just like like the logo. Yeah.
So what I wanted to do is create an old school type balsa bait. The actions and characteristic of an old balsa bait, but I wanted durability. Anymore, a custom balsa bait cost you a fortune, so I wanted to create something that was durable but had that action, old school action. So what we did was we created the A10. It's semi-flat sided, and so we also created to where there's no transition point. You'll notice this from the nose itself to the bill, it's all one piece. And what I did was created it to be very, you can pull on this thing, it will not flex. So I wanted it to beat up on shallow cover, wood, brush piles, rock. And so another problem we have with flat-sided crankbaits is the casting. It catches like a potato chip. We created a weight transfer system in it. You'll see that always creates kind of like a one knocker. And we put the same 4 wide gap hooks that we created ourselves in there. Really proud of that one. Several colors. And
yeah, I really love that one just because of the way the lip is actually part of the lure.
Right.
So like me, like on the rocky rocks in the river, you're going to break those lips off the baits. That's actually part of it. It's not a separate piece. It's like glued into the body of the bait, and it's just going to, and the angle of it's just going to slide right off. There's no point to catch on. It's a brilliant design.
Thank you. It worked out really well in the testing we had. You can design all kinds of baits, but till you put it in the water, you really don't know how it reacts. I mean, I changed the pivot point in there a couple times, and I got that little action I like from a flat-sided crankbait. But at the same time, the hard part was design. I love speed kills for smallmouth, especially up. You know what I mean? You can burn the baits, but you can't out-reel a smallmouth. So you can just burn it and get that reaction strike, and that thing won't fall over on itself. It'll hit something, come back and make true right away. Came out really, really great. I worked hard with the engineers at Thunderhawk to create that just exactly the way we want it. We think we nailed it in the Sergeant and the A10. We also got our Cha-Cha glide baits. This is our version of a glide bait. Again, it came out phenomenally. Jerry Rago designed the tail for us on this and helped us design that side-to-side action. This thing on a steady retrieve, you stop it. You don't have to even get any action yourself. As soon as you stop it, it'll come back on itself.
And the MSRP on these lures?
Oh, sorry. The square bill was $10. The $9.99. The lipless is $9.99. Our Cha-Cha, which is a nice glide bait, $15.99. It looks like it's custom painted.
And that's amazing for those that follow the industry with glide baits. I mean, people pay a lot of money for glide baits.
And we're really proud of that one. I did a demo in a tank up in the Chicago show last year, and I was touching both sides of the tank with that thing on a steady retrieve. We're really proud of that one. Another one Jerry Rago helped us design was the Thunderbelly. And you'll see most of our stuff we try to create a lure you can fish it right out of the box. Meaning you don't have to go change out your treble hooks, you don't have to change out your hooks. So what we did, we created a 5-inch swim bait that has 2 in a package, but you also provide for you our weighted swim jig hook, or swim bait hook, excuse me. So you don't have to, no guesswork, it already fits it. You get 2 in 1. We're really excited about several good colors in that. We also have my Chief Spinnerbait.
I love that.
Yeah, we got our own tinsel, and I fished Minnesota and Canada a bunch for smallmouth pike over the years, and I created a tie tinsel in my spinnerbaits. I think it just got that action to it. It does secondary and third action on, it bulges and closes and just the color transition. So what we did, I could never get anybody to manufacture this for me years because it's so hard to do. You got to hand tie each one of these. We put a mouse head on there, like our mouse head grass jig, and this came out really good. These are doing really well. We got several colors of the smallmouth. This is one of my favorite for smallmouth. It's perch color. It's got a little chartreuse on it. We got bluegills, we got reds, we got blacks, and we got a lot of neat stuff.
And I did show the mouse head jigs on the video a couple of weeks ago, and those are great because it can slide right off a structure.
Yeah.
You don't get snagged up.
And we incorporated that same head you'll see on that in our Chief Spinnerbait as well. It goes right through the grass, right through it. We think we've done a pretty good job with that one as well. We got a ton of soft plastics. We got our camo craw. We got our burner brim. I don't think you've seen, it's right here. Burner brim. It's a bluegill swim bait. We got several colors. It's 2 ounces. It's got a hard thumping tail. You fish it several ways, but this has been a winner too. They're all painted plastic.
So it's painted directly on the plastic.
Yeah, painted directly on the plastic. And these are only $10 retail as well. A lot of companies I've seen charge as much as $25 for these plastic swim baits.
Yeah, and that's like a 3D mold. It's nice.
They're pretty slick. If you take a look at that, there's a lot of detail in that. So
yeah, that's clean.
We got a ton of other stuff here, but we got buzz baits, we got hybrid divers, we got all kinds of colors of jerk baits and stuff, but pretty proud of what we got, and the response has been great. The reaction of the crowd coming by here looking at our product is pretty neat.
We got a line here right now, right off scroll of your shoulder. So
we're a fairly new company coming in the industry. We're small, and as far as what we're doing, but at the same time we're very large as far as manufacturing side of it. So we're spending money right now in people and product instead of a lot of glitz, and I'm pretty proud of that because, like I said, the hardest part in the fishing industry is to attract fishermen. They got to buy it, but the problem is a lot of your stuff that attracts fishermen doesn't catch fish, and there's a perfect balance in there. So we think we've created both what the fishermen want, but also more importantly what the fish will want as well. Right. So I'm pretty proud of that. They let me carte blanche on some of this stuff, and they listen, which is great. Hawk is a great guy to work for, and lets us design and he listens to the fishermen. That's the best way I can describe our company. We listen to the fishermen. If we don't have something yet, we will. Promise.
So you'll take input from the anglers.
We're going to take a lot of input from anglers. Already have. We've sent out a lot of test products throughout the country, not just professionals, but guys that fish, that know how to fish and have a good time. That's a big thing. We want you to go out. You don't have to break the bank to use our stuff, but you'll see some of our stuff. Looks like it's custom done, and that's what I'm pretty proud of. It works, it catches fish, and our most expensive product is our glide bait. It's $15.99. It's not a $100 bait, but it looks like it is. Yeah. So I'm pretty proud of that.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for talking to me. How can the viewers get in touch with you guys, or where can he find a lure?
Go to thunderhawklures.com. We have all our email addresses on there. Again, my name is Chief Mike Dove. You'll see on Facebook different interactions we have on social media. You can get a hold of us. Just email us direct or call me, and my cell phone is also on the website as well.
Well, thanks, Mike, and remember, everybody, support the Thin Blue line.
Yes.
Again, it's one of the ways that I got caught up with him. I'm like, hey, I got to give this guy some love and help get him on his feet.
Yeah. Add to it a little bit. The part of this is we also have Hero Getaway Pro. We do a lot of stuff, and Thunderhawk supports that. I want to reach out to the guys that are still walking that blue line to let them know that there's a majority of this country supports them and loves them. Nobody else wants to do the job. That's why they volunteered to raise their right hand. Despite what the national media is saying, those guys are still wanted and still loved. And just keep on doing your job and do it right, and you'll be okay.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, thanks, bud.
Thanks, everybody, and we'll be back with some more videos here from iCast.
Fishyaker.com, the original kayak rigging video series.